Hi there, welcome to 90% Knitting. This is episode 314. I am Lisa, also known as Fibernymph, on most of social media, and today is Tuesday. I don't remember the date. It's Tuesday. Pretending to be a Monday because yesterday was actually Monday, but here in the United States it was a holiday Monday. So we had a long weekend and my husband was home, and every time we have a holiday Monday, that means Tuesday feels like it's really a Monday. So I will be confused the whole rest of the week, and that will be compounded by the fact that we are leaving tomorrow morning to go out of town. So it's just going to be one of those weeks, I guess. But I'm leaving tomorrow morning to go out of town to go to Stitches United, where I'm vending, and I had promised that I was going to try to record one more time before I left. So I wanted to pop in here. It's only like 7:30 in the morning, so it's super early, but I have a lot to finish getting ready for my trip today. So not so much work stuff. Most of my work stuff is done, but like clothing, I have to pack my clothes. Sorry, I feel like I've got a hair in my eye now. And yes, I got my hair done last week and it's really purple now, which I'm very happy about. I'm in a purple mode. Anyway, I actually sat down last week. I think it was Friday. It was a nice morning. I had gone out onto the porch, the deck out here, and done yoga, which was my first deck yoga of the year, which I love being able to do yoga out on the deck. And that's all deck yoga is when I do yoga out on the deck. So that was really nice, and I thought, I should just sit here on my mat and I could just do a quick video. And I did that, but I had no show notes, no preparation, and realized after the fact that I really left a lot of things out. So I decided to just not even use that. So I'm going to record again today. However, that always leaves the risk of me thinking I've told you something that I really haven't, because I never put the video up that I actually told it to you in. So hopefully there won't be too much of that. But honestly, there's not a lot for me to tell you today, knitting wise. I have a little bit. And I have some on-deck stuff, and I want to talk about my travel knitting. But I'm going to switch things around a little bit this episode and do the shop stuff first, just because I feel like that's sort of the most imminent thing coming up. As I just said, I will be vending at Stitches United in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Cobb Galleria. The Thursday evening. They have Thursday evening hours through Sunday, are the market hours. So 4 days. That's a huge amount of vending for me. I don't usually do 2-day shows, are usually what I do the most, or the most vending days. I haven't done a 4-day show in a very, very, very long time. I'm trying to remember when I don't know, maybe maybe a 3-day show is the most I've ever done. I don't know. Anyway, I'm looking forward to Stitches. If you're going to be there, please stop by booth 706, which is where I will be, and say hello. I have dyed as much as I possibly can, and I will be bringing all kinds of things. My plan for this podcast was to have things that I could show you that I'd be bringing, but then we realized today was going to be super rainy, and it has been raining off and on all morning. And so we decided to pack the trailer last night. So pretty much everything I'm taking is already packed in our trailer. But I have over a dozen Serendipity sweater sets. So if you have been looking at those when I did them last time, and then I had some in the shop, so much fun. Oh my gosh, so much fun to do. So I did a bunch of those. I want to say like close to 18. They're pretty big ticket items, so I don't anticipate them all selling, but if you're there, take a gander at them. I have them in my cozy worsted weight, my bonafide DK weight, and I did some on mountain tweed DK as well. So lots of fun options. So I have those. I'm going to have a bunch of different pattern and yarn kits with me, like my Allentown hat, the Deco lace mitts, designed by Sarah Jordan. I'll also have her mini maximization shawl kits. I I think I have some of my around and about hat kits. So I've got a bunch. Those are always fun to pick up at shows because they're like easy breezy kind of things to pick up, and you've got the yarn, you've got the pattern code, you're ready to go. What else? I have lots of course, self-striping. I mean, that's my deal, right? My jam. So lots of inversibles, lots of self-striping. I'll have self-striping in fingering weight, sport weight, and then a mix of DK and worsted weight. So lots of goodies. And of course, I'm bringing my sweater quantities of ridgetop fingering and DK, my non-superwash, which I debuted at my last well, not my last show. My last show was Needles Up, but the show before that, when I took everything, was Allentown. And I'm so excited to have those at shows. So, that's just a quick run through of what I will have at Stitches. Again, please stop by if you're going to be there. I will be really looking forward to seeing everybody come through. And you can visit the Stitches website for the exact location and hours and things like that. In the meantime, I wanted to let you know, if you've gone to my shop, my online shop in the last few days, you might have noticed there's really nothing in there. Not nothing. All of my dye to order and custom order items are still in the shop, but I took down all of my listings for any in-stock items for multiple reasons. Number one, a bunch of it I'm taking with me to Stitches because I just need to have as much with me as I can take because I don't know what I'm going to need. But also, I'm at a point in my show season, coming to the end of my spring show season, that I like to do an inventory just to make sure that I actually have what I've got listed so that I'm not selling things I don't have. So when I come home from this trip, I'm going to be doing a major, basically one of my semi-annual inventories of everything that I have in stock, and then I will be doing a major restock in the shop and putting a lot of things up. That will be probably the week of June 8th. Well, it won't be probably, it will be the week of June 8th. Because we're getting back on June 8th, I think. I may have that date slightly wrong. Whatever that Sunday is. We're getting back that Saturday. So the week of whatever that Sunday is. That is when I will be doing my inventory and putting things up in the shop. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a specific shop update or if I'm just going to put things in the shop that week. It might be that the latter option is the easier one, just because there will be a lot of things. So stay tuned. I will definitely share more details with you about that closer to that time. As always, the newsletter and the Instagram, fibernymphdyeworks Instagram account and fibernymphdyeworks page on Facebook are the best ways to know when that kind of stuff is happening, when new things are going in the shop, updates, things like that. So I would say please tune into those areas. Sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already. I don't send them out very often, once a week at most, generally, and usually not even quite that often. I need an assistant. I wish I had, I wish I could have somebody to do promotion for me, honestly. Because I can either do the yarn part of life, my business, the dyeing and the rescanning and the shipping, I can do all that, or I can spend the time doing the social media and the newsletter and the promoting. I have such a hard time balancing all of it as a one-person business. I don't know. I need a second me to get it all done in a more timely manner. Anyway, I think that's everything I was going to tell you shop-wise. So that part's done. I won't have to do that at the end of the show. I'm going to move on to my only finished object, which is kind of sort of sad because it's a single sock. But this is actually a finished object because this is the third Summertime Blues shorty sock that I managed to knit out of the skein of yarn. I knit myself a pair, and then I decided I'd use the leftovers to do a third one that I could have as a dedicated show sample. So this one will be coming along and being in my show samples, and it will just stay there. And I guess if I ever lose one of my socks, then I have an extra. I don't know if my dryer ever eats one. I don't throw them in the dryer anyway, so that's a moot point. But yeah, so it's finished. This is out of my Traveler base, which is my sport weight. 80/20 superwash merino nylon. I love knitting this with this for socks. I especially like it for shorty socks, which I tend to wear just sort of like house socks. So they're a little bit more durable. Anyway, this is my Summertime Blues colorway. And that is it for finished objects. When I do sport weight socks, I do them on US 1.5s, and I did this on 48 stitches. And it's just a plain vanilla sock, really. My cuff is a little longer, my ribbing about 1.5 inches, as opposed to maybe about a little less than 1 inch that I do on regular socks, fingering weight socks, but shorter socks I do more ribbing. So 1.5 inches of that, and then about 1.5 inches of straight stockinette, and then I did the slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset, and it's a sock. So that is complete. My only whip that I've really put any time into is my matchy motorcycle sock, which I'm finally past the gusset decreases on, but not by much, obviously. So this is West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply in the, gosh, I keep forgetting the name of this colorway. It's one of the bird colorways. What is it? It's not chickadee. It's the yellow one. Oh my gosh, this is so pathetic. It'll come to me. Because we have the birds here, and I was actually trying to think of the name of them the other day, and I don't know why. Goldfinch. 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 Wow. Yeah, so these are the ones that I'm making a pair for myself and for my husband. And it was funny because I was working on this at the table the other day after we were done eating, and he looked at it and he's like, oh, that's a really pretty sock. I'm like, well, remember, I'm making them for you and for me, so eventually you'll have a pair too. And he's like, oh, okay. So, but this one's mine because it's just a plain vanilla sock. I'm using the cayenne pepper colorway. Also West Yorkshire Spinners for the cuff and the toe on this sock, and butterscotch for the heel. When I do the second sock, I will flip that around. So butterscotch will be the cuff and the toe, and cayenne will be the heel. Probably. I may change my mind on that, but that's my plan at the moment. US 1s, 60 stitches. I think that's it. That's all you really need to know because there's not too much exciting to tell you. I love the yarn. I'm not really feeling too interested in knitting the sock right now. I don't know why. It's a well-traveled sock. These socks went out west with us last year. They went on our trip a couple weeks ago down to North Carolina and Tennessee. They just really aren't seeing much progress here at home, so I don't know. I just don't know. But that does leave me thinking, okay, what am I taking with me to work on both at my show and while we're on the rest of the trip? Oh, I guess I didn't finish telling you about that. So we're leaving tomorrow morning. Sorry. I have a lot of sinus drainage right now. I'm sorry if that's gross, but it's a fact of life. And I also have what is really interestingly called dysfunctional eustachian tubes in my ears. You know, those tubes in your ears. Yeah, apparently mine are dysfunctional. I did not realize that was the terminology that my doctor officially prescribed to them. They don't drain right, and so they're always just sort of full, and it's uncomfortable sometimes more than others, but it's not like an otitis media ear infection. It's some other otitis something, I don't know. But it's not an infection, it's just they stay full of fluid. And I've had this for almost a year now, and it's sometimes just very annoying. And today is one of those days where it's very annoying, but I also just have like sinus drainage. I don't know. My throat's kind of rough. So I'm drinking hot tea this morning. Lemon ginger twinings, which is one of my favorite teas. Okay. So, where where was I before I started talking about drainage and tea and ears that are dysfunctional? What I'm taking with me on my trip. Oh, that was what I was telling you about the trip. And I apologize right now because I don't have time to do any major editing on this episode. It's going to pretty much go up the way I record it. I also apologize in advance that there will probably not be timestamps or show notes for this episode. I'm sorry. Time is of the essence for me today, though, as far as getting finished packing for my trip. Okay, so thank you for understanding. So yes, we will be leaving tomorrow, going to Atlanta. I will be in Atlanta for Stitches United through Sunday. When the show's over, we're going to pack up, and then we're going to drive to Florida that evening to my mom's, and we're going to spend through Thursday, probably around lunchtime, at my mom's, which will be really nice to have some time there. I am so looking forward to some beach time. You have no idea. We're taking our bicycles, which I think my husband's a little like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we want to take these bikes, because we're putting them in the cargo trailer, which you would think, oh, plenty of room, which it is, but it is sort of a hassle because they can't like move around. And so yeah, he's humoring me on this, but I'm just looking forward to like riding my bike to the beach and getting exercise and being in the sunshine. I need that so badly right now. You have no idea. So anyway, we'll be at my mom's for about 4 days. Then we're going to leave there Thursday and drive home. And on the way home, we're going to spend Thursday evening and all day Friday with my daughter. Well, not with her that whole time, but like up where my daughter is living right now in North Carolina. She's outside of Charlotte by about a half hour now. So we're going to get to see her and her boyfriend and hopefully get to spend all of Friday with her. And then we will drive home Saturday morning. So it's going to be a long trip. I think it's like 11 days altogether. So I need knitting. And nothing that I have on the needles is super exciting to me right now. We've had this discussion, haven't we? At least I've had this discussion with you. Whether you've known about it or not is a whole other issue, as I've pointed out. But anyway, I may take these socks, in the cute little hedgehog bag. This is a Star Knits bag, by the way. Yeah, the matching motorcycle sock I might take. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I think what I will do, though, is I will go into my own personal fibernymphdyeworks stash and pull out another skein of Traveler, because I think I have a couple in my stash that I also have in my show inventory, because I like to be knitting on something that I have the yarn in stock that people could actually buy, rather than them saying, oh, what colorway is that? And me telling them, and they're like, oh, do you have that? I'm like, no, you can't have it. That's so silly sometimes. So anyway, I think I'll start maybe another pair of shorty socks. I could do that. I want more shorty socks. I've mentioned that before. So I think I'll do that. So that's one project I'll take with me. I may take, remember the right around the corner shawl that I started, when did I start that? Earlier this year, out of my Mountain Tweed fingering. Yeah, in the deep red and the warm honey gold. Yeah. Haven't worked on it in months. I got so bored with it. I went to look for it the other day to pull it out so that I could take it with me. I can't even find the project bag. That's how bad this is. I don't know where it is. I mean, I know there's only a limited number of places it can be in this house, so I'll find it, but that's the epitome of like a really, really sad project when you just can't even find it anymore. Because I'm usually pretty good about staying organized. So anyway, I may take that with me because that's a fairly mindless-y kind of thing that I could work on at the show as well. But I have another project that I think I'm going to work on. Well, more accurately, I'm going to cast on and work on. And it's a sweater. I know I already have sweaters on the needles, but I'm in the mood for a different sweater, okay? And it's a fingering weight cardigan, which I swore I would never make myself a fingering weight sweater because I feel like it would take forever. But I'm in the mood. And the other thing that sparked this was yarn. I'll show you the yarn first, then I'll tell you about the pattern. as I was going through my inventory, pulling stuff out to take with me to stitches, I came across this yarn. Okay, I already have it wound in a ball. This is a skein of my beach glass variegated colorway on Bedazzled, and I had 3 skeins of this, and I was really kind of surprised that they were still in the shop, because this is a pretty nice colorway, if I do say so myself now. It sells well, it shows, I guess is my point. But I had a lot of it, and I had it was 2 different lots, and this was a darker lot than the other one, so I put this in the shop, and the lighter one is in the show inventory. But I still had some of this left that hadn't sold yet, but there were 3 skeins in Bedazzled, and I thought, this could make a really fun, pretty, summery sweater, because it's a great summery colors. So I pulled those 3 skeins for myself. And then I thought, well, to make a big enough, I want kind of a flowy cardigan, I need more than 3 skeins, because that's only a little over 1,200 yards, and I would need more than that, I think, for a sweater my size that's long. So I pulled out a skein of lime green and a skein of peacock blue, because those colors are in this yarn, and I'm going to stripe whatever I make. And that was the next thing I set towards finding a pattern, because I didn't have a lot of fingering weight cardigan patterns in my queue, because like I said, I never thought I'd really knit one. So I started searching Ravelry, and I found this one. It's called the Rock Peak Cardigan by Marion M. And I'm not going to do it quite this way, and my printer is running out of ink, obviously, so it looks a little funny. I'm going to do narrower stripes, and I don't think I'm going to do the stripes all up here. I think I'm going to do the striping mostly on the bottom part. That's my plan. I don't know. I may change that. But anyway, I just thought this was really pretty, and it's long. There's no buttons on this, but unlike some cardigans that don't button, it's full. It's very wide, so you can see this drawing of it. So it does close, you could pull it shut and wrap yourself in it. That's kind of what I'm looking for, something really cozy. And I have not fully read the pattern yet. The pattern was originally written in French, and then she translated it to English as well, so that could be interesting, possibly. This has not been knit by a lot of people. I think there's only 9 projects in Ravelry, but it's also a fairly recently published pattern, if I do remember correctly. It was published this year. Anyway, what I found really interesting, and you can sort of see it on this little drawing better, is the band is actually knit along with the sweater. You're not picking that up afterwards and knitting it. And it's a textured pattern, the band, the button band part, which I think is kind of cool. The collar and the button band both are a textured, sort of a zigzaggy, I want to say a knit and purl kind of pattern. So I think that'll be fun. I don't know that this will be an excellent thing for me to be working on at the show, because I need to pay attention to that patterning, but I think it'll be a really good thing for me to work on in the car and while I'm at my mom's. Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of car time in this trip, and I will get to be the passenger most of it, probably. So, yeah. So I'm really excited about this. Now, there were a couple of other sweaters that were possibilities, but I don't know. Something about this one just really, I like the flowy shape of it. It's very similar to a couple of store-bought sweaters that I have that I wear all the time. And I really like this. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to probably do the upper part all in the beach glass colorway. I have 3 skeins of this. I only wound 2 into balls right now. But I have 3 skeins of this plus the other 2 semi-solid skeins. So I'm going to probably do the upper part and possibly the sleeves. I don't know what I'm doing with the sleeves yet. All in the beach glass. And then once I separate for the sleeves, and I'm working on the body, then I'm going to alternate beach glass, lime green, beach glass, peacock, beach glass, lime green, beach glass, peacock, like that the whole way down. And I think that'll look neat. I'm thinking. I know I've seen sweaters done like that before. I could not find one. Actually, no, that's not true. Lisa Ross has a sweater out that has very wide stripes just on the bottom, but it's a worsted weight pattern. I can't remember what the name of it is, but I have that in my queue, and I really like that. And there's a couple of others. There's one that does a really neat thing with very tiny stripes. I can't remember who it's by or what it is, but I don't know. I may print that out as a backup pattern just in case I start this and it doesn't work out, because then I could do that. And then I would use this as like the main color and those other two, the green and the peacock, as the contrasts, and do like the 2 rows of, because I think it was 2 row stripes. So 2 rows of beach glass, 2 rows of green, 2 rows of beach glass, 2 rows of peacock. I could do it that way, or I could do chunks of green for a while, then chunks of peacock contrast. I don't know. There's so many options. I'm hoping I don't end up with option paralysis on this, but I'm going to take both sets of my Licca interchangeables so that I will have all the needles that I need to do no matter what pattern I decide to do, and it'll be good. And hopefully when I come back, I will have progress on some sort of sweater out of this yarn to show you, because I think that would be a really nice, intermediate, warm weather sweater going into fall, coming into spring into summer, summer into fall, that kind of sweater. So that's my plan. I think those are the only things I'll take with me, because realistically, even though I'm going to have a lot of car time and some time at my mom's, I don't know how much knitting I'll get done. My knitting mojo is still very, very missing, as you can see by the one shorty sock that is finished. I don't know. I think I've just been so focused on getting ready for the show. I have been working a lot, and I'm just so ready for a break. I know I've reached that point in my year where I need a break. And so when I haven't been working, I just haven't really even wanted to knit, which is weird for me, but it happens occasionally. And so I have been doing other things. I've been spending a lot of time, I think I talked about this in the video that I never uploaded, a lot of time seeking out new recipes, like healthy recipes. I've been really, really focusing on my eating the last few weeks, ever since we got back from our last trip, because I've just felt, and when I feel that way, I know, it's usually for multiple reasons. And one of it is just I've been so busy. But the other thing is, like, when you get busy, sometimes you don't eat super well. At least I don't. And I know I've been really lax on how I've been eating over the past year. And I have put on a little bit of weight. And I would like to rectify that. So I've been working on eating healthier, eating less, moving a little more. Although I haven't had the time to do that, like bona fide exercise. But once I'm done with the show and I have time, then I can get out there and do more things. I've also been out on my motorcycle a few times, just like at lunchtime one day. It was so beautiful out, and I had been working all day, and it drives me crazy to be stuck inside on days that it's beautiful. So there was just this one really pretty day. I thought, you know what, I'm going to take my lunchtime, I'll eat real quick, and then I'm going to go ride. And I did. I ended up riding for like an hour and a half, which is not how long I usually take for lunch, but it was just such a gorgeous day. And then my husband and I were out on the Ural, the sidecar rig that he bought me last year, which I'm still getting used to riding. Honestly, it's more terrifying driving that thing than driving a two-wheeled motorcycle in some ways. But we were out on that a couple of times, which was fun, and I'm getting more used to it. And I drove it without him as a passenger for the first time the other night, which you have to be careful driving a sidecar, because you can actually tip a sidecar rig. You wouldn't think it would be as easy, but because the sidecar's on the right-hand side, if you make a right-hand turn too fast, it wants to flip to the left. So you have to be super careful, and I've been very paranoid about that. But I did okay, and it was fine, and I got a better feel for it. So that was really fun. What was really ironic, though, was we were coming home. All right, I'm going to tell you this little story. It has nothing to do with knitting, and I know I'm throwing this in the middle, but bear with me. Friday night, we went out to dinner with my son. I had my hair appointment Friday afternoon, and my husband had been at work, and so this was sort of a last minute thing. And I had texted him, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go meet Chris for dinner. Do you want to come with us? And he's like, well, you're at your hair appointment. And I'm like, yeah, you could meet me there and we could ride together. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to go home first, and then I'll meet you there when you're done with your hair. I'm like, fine. And he was on a motorcycle that day for work because it was a very nice day. And so I thought, well, that's weird that he's coming home, but it gave him a chance to feed the pets and everything. Well, then I remembered, oh, he's probably going to bring, because he said, bring your gear and would take the motorcycle. Well, what he meant was bring your gear and you're going to drive the Ural, which is what happened. He actually drove it out there because on the turnpike, it's a little, like, high speeds in that, that's what scares me. High speeds in that particular motorcycle is scary for me, because you sit really up high as opposed to down in a curvy seat like my other bikes have. This is just a straight seat and you feel like you're sitting way up high. Anyway, so I had my gear with me, changed, didn't change, but put my gear on when he got there. We drove out, had dinner, and then we drove back, but he had me drive back, and I took a different route that didn't take the turnpike. And it was fine because I could drive slower. I was happy with that. But it was just so funny because we drove all the way home, and we pulled in, and I saw that my car was not parked where it usually is, which I thought, oh, my car's still at the garage because we just had it inspected this past week. And I thought, oh, we didn't pick my car up yet. And I'm like, oh shit, yes, I'm sorry. We did. My car should be here because I drove my car today. We totally forgot to stop at the shopping center and pick my car up. And we both laughed about it. So we turned around, drove back out to the shopping center. And when we got there, I just figured he was going to drive the bike and I was going to drive the car. But he got out of the sidecar and he's like, give me your keys. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, what? He's like, you can drive it home. You'll be fine. Just take it easy around the curves. I'm like, oh my gosh. Fine. So I did. And there's a gas station right at the bottom of our hill before you come up the big hill to our house. And so we're driving home and we passed the gas station and we started up the hill and he got stopped at the light. There's a light at the bottom of the hill by the gas station. So he got stuck at the light at the bottom of the hill. I started up the hill because it takes this bike a while to get up there. This is not a speedy bike to begin with. I get up there and I'm starting up and I'm about a quarter way up the hill and all of a sudden it just goes and it stops. I'm like, oh my gosh, I broke the bike. And part of me was like, no, it ran out of gas. But I'm like, wait, because there's a light on it that should have come on to say that it was low. So I managed to get it pulled off to the side of the hill. And he came up the hill, and once he got through the light, and he saw me there, and so he pulled up behind me, and he thought I was just waiting for him, which was so silly, because I'm like, why would I stop this particular bike in the middle of a hill and wait for you? That would be crazy. But finally, I waved him up, and I'm like, the bike stopped. Like, I don't know what's going on. I think it ran out of gas. He's like, well, did the light come on? I said, no. He's like, it's got gas. He's like, try starting it again. So we tried starting it, and it wouldn't start. And he's like, fine, let me on. And he tried starting it. I mean, I know how to start a bike, right? Wouldn't start. So finally, he's like, I think it's out of gas. I'm like, okay. So the cool thing about Urals is they have integral gas cans attached to the cars, so the side cars. So we unhooked one of the gas cans and poured gas in the tank, and lo and behold, it started right up. But it was just so funny that it happened the first time I'm driving it by myself. Thankfully, he was with me though, behind me, because not that I couldn't have figured it out on my own, but it was nice having help that first time that something like that happened. So we realized, he said, yeah, I've heard that sometimes the indicator lights for the gas don't come on. I'm like, well, that's not very handy. So anyway, that was our excitement on that bike, but I made it the rest of the way home, and it was fine, and I did fine on all the right-hand curves. Didn't flip the bike, yay! I think you really would actually have to try to do that. I don't know. I'm not planning on trying. Anyway, wow. I'm sorry that was a real segue into a totally non-knitting area. That was sort of 10% stuck in the middle. Clearly, this episode is just not running in its normal order. If you're a new viewer, this is not how this usually goes. I promise the next episode will be a little bit more normal. Okay, So that's all of the knitting. I have done some spinning though. I finished the second third of the the classy squid fiber that I was doing, which is so pretty. I love this fiber. So this was the first one. This is the second. So I do have the third one started, but it's obviously not going to get done before we go home or before we go away. So I'll finish that whenever I come home, and then I will be able to start my fiber for the fiber exchange and spin along, which I was going to show you, and I have to go get it. But anyway, yeah, so that's it. But I did want to tell you something that I totally forgot to mention last time when I showed you the other fiber I got from the Classy Squid when we were at Needles Up. The other thing they have right now is they've come out with a spindle, a drop spindle, and it's beautiful. I got to play with it at Needles Up. At least I don't think I remember to tell you about this last time, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit now. And if it's a repeat, I'm so sorry, but it's machined aluminum. And the whirl is very pretty. If I can find an online picture that I can stick in, I'll show you. But otherwise, I mean, it looks like this. And the whirl is aluminum, so it's very lightweight. And it's machined, and it's beautiful. And then it comes with 3 shafts. So it's a modular spindle set. And the shafts are, okay, the whirl weight is 22 grams. The shaft weight is about 7 grams. The length of the shaft is about 9.5 inches, with 8 inches of usable shaft above or below the whirl. They do them as either top whirl or bottom whirl spindles. You get 3 shafts with your purchase. It's $100 for the whole set. Let's see, I'm going to just read their description. A very classy spindle is designed to be your go-to mid-weight drop spindle. With a long spinning, perfectly balanced, precision-milled aluminum whirl and secure, interchangeable threaded shafts, this spindle is a workhorse capable of spinning a wide range of singles. Longer spin time means fewer flicks or thigh rolls for you, making it a more ergonomic and efficient choice. I can attest to how fast that spins, because like I said, I got to play with one at Needles Up. That's always been one of my things with drop spindles. Aside from my Turkish spindles, which do spin fairly long, my regular drop spindles, I've never found one that really spins super well, super long. This spun forever. It was crazy. I want one of these sets so badly. I can't even tell you. And Bill was like, it's pretty and it's nice, but like, you don't drop spindle. I'm like, I know. I enjoy the process of drop spindling because I find it very meditative. I just never know what to do with the singles. I've never successfully plied drop singled spindles for whatever reason. The modular spindle makes it nice because you could have singles on 3 different shafts and then, use another spindle or use your spinning wheel to ply. I do have a modular spindle from KCL Woodworking, that I got several years ago. Again, I just don't use it very often. I think it does have a spinning project on it right now, to tell you the truth. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know about this, and I wanted to direct you to their shop because they are gorgeous spindles. I would buy one in an instant if I could justify it. And honestly, I can't say that I'm not going to buy one eventually. They're just beautiful. They've put a lot of work into them. And I don't know what Amanda's husband's name is, or her partner. I'm not sure if they're husband. I don't know. Where am I going with that? Anyway, he was very enthusiastic about it and told me all about it, and he said we really put a lot of work into them, and I think he was very integral in getting that going. So anyway, I would highly recommend you checking that out if you're in the market for a drop spindle that spins like crazy cakes. It's beautiful too. Okay, so there's that. That's pretty much all the fibery talk. I want to talk about group events that are going on in the Fiber Nymph Dyeworks group on Ravelry because weirdly we have a lot of things happening. Whipstravaganza, that's going on all year. I've mentioned that a lot. So check that out if you're working on projects that you started prior to 2019. They qualify. I'm doing about monthly drawings as long as we have enough participation each month. Sometimes it's not till every 2 months, but doing prize drawings there. We have the fiber exchange and spin along going on, which I mentioned earlier. It's a small group of people doing it, but it's going to be fun. There is a thread up in the group for that, and by now everybody should have their fiber from their partner. Please post a picture of your fiber. I have not done that yet with mine. I will do it today though. Yeah, please post a picture of your fiber, both the part of the fiber that you sent to your, your half of what you sent to your partner, plus the half of their fiber that they sent to you. Please post a picture of that so that we can all see what everybody's working with. And then, show your progress pictures. That's what this is all about. We want to see like how you're spinning it, how, partners are doing their fiber. Presumably they'll end up doing them differently. I'm just so interested in seeing how that's going to go. I'm going to go grab what my partner sent me right now. Hang on. Okay, so I'll show you what I sent her first. This was the fiber, and I don't have it in braid form anymore, but this is some of my fiber that I've dyed. This is my merino bamboo top, and it's in the Bahamian colorway. And I've had this set aside in my own personal Fiber Nymph Dyeworks stash for quite a while because I just love this. I love this blend, one thing, and this is some of my favorite colors, which ironically, can you tell? It's a thing for me. Anyway, oh, the squirrel's out on the porch. Anyway, so this is what I sent her. I sent her 2 ounces of that. And I sent that back before I went on my last trip because I knew I was going to be cutting it close otherwise when I got back. And then she had a bunch of stuff going on, so she sent her stuff to me towards the end of the shipping out period. But it was funny because in her note that she included, she said, I had this fiber chosen before I received yours in the mail. Okay, so now you have to see what she sent me. This is too funny, really. No, it's not the same fiber, but it's close. Check it out. Okay, look at these colors. I mean, this is a little more green, but still, same color family. What is the likelihood? I just thought it was amazing because I think we both said, like, yeah, we're open to whatever colors. So it wasn't even like we said, we like blues and greens. It's beautiful. This is some Highland Handmaids fiber, which I'm super excited about because Heather's fiber is wonderful to spin. It's a merino silk bamboo. So it's just funny, the similarity. So, one thing I could do is spin these together, spin this, and ply them together. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do something different. I have old fiber stash, some Briar Rose fibers in a Polworth. I'm almost positive it's a Polworth. That's a turquoise. No, you know what? Is that what I already spun? I don't know. I have something from Briar Rose Fibers that is a turquoisey color. I may actually have some of her Bam Huey, which is a merino bamboo, I think. I have to go up. I haven't had a chance to go up into my fiber stash and look at this. But if I have that, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the stuff Trisha sent me. My partner's name's Trisha, by the way. What she sent me as a single, and then spin some of that Briar Rose turquoise and ply it with this. And then I'm going to spin mine and also ply it with that other stuff. That's my sort of thought process right now about this. Just to see how they look doing them that way. I don't know if I'll do a 2-ply or a 3-ply for them. I may do like 2 plies of this and then a 3rd ply of the other fiber, and then do something different with this. I don't know. That's the fun of this, is just playing and seeing what you guys end up coming up with. Because you can use other stuff that's in your stash and put it with whatever you have or what your partner has or whatever. Just play with it and do fun things and show us. That's the biggest thing. And I have to show you, Trisha was so nice, and she sent me some of her own hand spun. Check it out. It's not that same fiber, but it's very similar colors, isn't it? Isn't it beautiful? She just said she knows how special hand spun can be for, whenever you're a spinner, to get hand spun and knit with it. And she's perfectly right. I love knitting with hand spun. So I can't wait to figure out what that's going to become. And she also sent me a whole bunch of tea, which is fabulous. I love tea. Anyway, so that's the fiber exchange and spin along. So even if you're not participating in that, follow along, because I'm really hopeful that everybody will post some great pictures and we can all follow along. The Summer of Us is officially going on, even though it's not officially summer. Again, there's a thread up in the group. Summer of Us is just a very low-key way for us to share the cool things that we're going to be doing. Cool is, I know, a weird word to use for this probably, and that's also subjective, but just, whatever you're doing this summer that is maybe out of the ordinary, things that maybe you don't get to do other times, something that you've wanted to do for quite a while. I had mentioned last week that one of the things I really want to do is scrapbook, because I've been away from it for so long. I want to do some sewing. I want to get out and ride my bicycle and kayak. Oh, I did get to go out and kayak for the first time this season last week too. I took a morning, and honestly, I think it took me more time to get the kayak on my car and back off than it did for me to paddle the lake. There were tons of frogs. Oh my gosh. If I'm able to, I'll try to put some pictures of the frogs in. Tons of bullfrogs. I've never seen them down there. I hear them, but I've never seen them. They were just prolific. They were everywhere. I saw a bald eagle. We don't see many bald eagles around here, but there was a bald eagle flying over the lake. I couldn't get a good picture of it, but that was amazing. My husband saw one recently at work, sitting in a tree outside his office. That was pretty cool. So apparently they're around. I always marvel because Carol, who's Knits and Pearls from, oh my gosh, Carol. Why am I a stitch in time? It's like I was blanking on the name of your podcast. She often shows pictures of eagles up in the trees behind her house. And I always think, that's so cool. And so now I had an eagle sighting too. So anyway, what else? Yeah, Summer of Us. Please just take advantage of that thread and share with us what you're doing so we can all live vicariously through you and through each other. That's kind of the theme for things right now. And then, of course, there's also the monthly makes, which is going on all year, which is technically more a fibernymphdyeworks along, but I will mention it since it is in the same group, and all of the information about that. It's never too late to join in, even though you may not qualify for all of the things that you can win prizes for. There's always monthly prizes that don't require the whole year's participation. There's the Instagram prize, which I think I'm going to try to pull the Instagram prize winner for May today before I leave on my trip. And yeah, so those are the group events going on in the fibernymphdyeworks group. As always, if you have any questions about any of that, feel free to PM me on Ravelry and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I will say I'm caught up. I think I'm caught up on my Rav messages right now, but group participation for me has been minimal lately. I just haven't had the time. I'm hoping to catch up while we're in the car tomorrow, though, because that's something I can do from my phone. And I'm sorry, now my nose is itchy because I had that fiber out. Anyway, and if it's something really, really, really important, you definitely need a fast response, especially if it's something shop related. Please email me, fibernymph@gmail.com, because that will definitely get my top level attention. I think that's everything I have to share with you today. It's probably a little after 8 now, and I have a lot of things left to do. Like I said, I did manage to get the trailer mostly packed yesterday with my husband's help, which was lovely. Excuse me. I have to pack clothes. Haven't done that yet. It would be good to have some clothing for this trip. And that's the thing, when I'm taking these trips that are so multi-stage, like, okay, I've got a show, and then I've got my mom's, which involves the beach, and then I've got potentially doing outdoorsy stuff with my daughter. And it's like, how do you pack for all this without taking 500 pounds worth of stuff? So I have to pack smart. But at least we're going in the car and not flying, so I don't have to like pack super compactly. But I do need to pack, so that's on my agenda today. I need to run out and do some errands. And I have to go to the post office and get our mail shut off for while we're gone. That's one of the errands. Sorry, you probably don't really need to sit here and listen to my errands. Anyway, and then I just have, of course, there's always the last minute show stuff to wrap up and double check and make sure I have everything. So we'll see how I fare today, but I'm feeling like I'm in a pretty good place with all that. So looking forward to Stitches United. So looking forward to spending some downtime at my mom's and with my daughter and just having... And when we get home, I'm super looking forward to the next 7 weeks because I have 7 weeks between the time I get home and Stitches Midwest, which is my next show. And even though I will be working, obviously, during that time, I'm just so looking forward to having some downtime, really getting into my summer of me kind of things. And also, I was looking around the house today. There's so many things that just have not gotten done around the house that need to be taken care of. So I'll have more time to spend on that kind of stuff too, which is a good thing. But anyway, I think that's everything that I've got for you today. I hope to see you at Stitches if you're going to be there. Please say hi. And I will talk to you guys when I get back. I'll record. I won't be video blogging or anything while I'm away because I'm just not good at that. But I will probably be posting things to my Instagram account. I mean, probably business or, fibernymphdyeworks for anything, Stitches United related, business related. And, any of the rest of my trip I'll probably be posting to my just regular Fibernymph Instagram account if you want to follow along on my journey. So you're welcome to do that. That's it. Have a lovely week. And I will talk to you real soon. Not real soon, but sort of soon. Soon-ish. Bye.